Guys, stick around to the end of this video because honestly, I have just broken another record within my businesses. I'm actually going to be breaking this down for you guys as well. So my previous record, by the way, was with my social media marketing agency, which I actually do not run anymore. Well, not in the traditional sense anymore. I switched over to more of a consulting kind of like branding kind of like agency, whatever you want to call it. I want to break this down as well because my previous record was actually scaling my social media marketing agency. And this was actually back in April/May time. I've already documented this on my channel as well, so you can go back and look at all the proof and all the invoices and the Stripe payments and stuff like that if you want to. That was actually back in April/May. It was actually May 2021. Go look at that. And I actually was able to scale my agency from kind of like 3.1k British pounds all the way up to just under 12,000 US dollars. It was actually 11,588 US dollars, I believe it was, bang on. And I did that in 24 days whilst implementing a strategy called the hybrid system. The hybrid system is using Upwork first to stack up smaller ticket clients, which is a freelance website, by the way. And then once you've got that, initial cash flow coming in, you want to go and hire like virtual assistants to actually scale your agency up, via virtual assistants, because they're actually going to be setting appointments for you, landing meetings for you, and then you actually go close those meetings. It's such a good strategy that it actually still works to this day. In fact, just this week, I believe it was just this week, I have been posting 1 to 4 screenshots of students still using this particular strategy in my online program, and it still works. It is still a viable method. But what I've done now, guys, is that I've noticed that my consulting business was kind of like overtaking my agency. So I just said to myself, you know what? Why am I forcing it with the agency stuff? Why don't I just go and help other agency owners scale up their agencies using a personal brand? Because this is exactly what's been working for some of the top dogs that you look at. Look at any guru right now that you follow on YouTube. What have they all got in common? They've got a frigging YouTube channel trying to sell you some sort of online program or online course, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I think it's very, very smart. And I think we should all, if you're watching this, I think all of us should be getting into this. We all should be online, becoming like, not gurus, but we should all be building a name for ourselves in some sort of industry. Now, granted, selling an online program, selling courses, selling online consulting, those are not scams if they genuinely work. If you take a look at some of the results I've been able to generate people from an online program, there is no way in hell you can sit there and call that a scam. Let me give you an example. I went to university, right, for 3 years, and not once did I actually leverage any of the knowledge inside of my university program to make any money whatsoever. Like, I was even sat in my classes thinking like, how can I take this lesson that I learned today and actually genuinely implement this to make money? This time I was paying literally 9,000 pounds per year just to be in this university course. So that's like 27k over the thingy, and then there's obviously living expenses, and then there's loans you have to pay back and all that sort of stuff. So it comes out to like 36k or something crazy like that, I believe it comes out to. So yeah, that to me is definitely a scam. For somebody like me though, I've been able to generate people results and scale multiple people to 10k per month just using an online program. There is no way in hell you can call that a scam. Now, there are people out there you can't trust and whatnot, but I'm literally one of the only people that will show you the back end of my actual, Teachable account, back end of my actual ClickFunnels account, the actual official agency transformation website that shows you the exact number of how much we've actually made with the actual program. I'm not joking. I don't think I've ever even seen an online guru do that, and you can actually work out and extrapolate how much I've been making from the agency and how much I was making from the online program. Now, what I'm trying to get you guys on is an even better business model, and we're just gonna call this consulting/personal brand consulting, whatever you want to call it. It's literally just consulting is what I'm trying to say. Now, I've been able to break a new record, guys. Again, I've just got some notes over here, and I was able, right, to take this brand new business. Again, I only announced that I was quitting SMMA on the 21st of November. And by the time the 7th of December came around, I've already closed 3 clients for this. Each one of those clients, by the way, is 3.2k each because they took the split pay option. And I'm not even joking, I made a video about this not too long ago because on the very first day of announcing this, like within the first 24 hours, so I announced my leave and what I was doing next on this very channel, this very YouTube channel. You can actually go back and actually watch that. I think the video is just called I'm Quitting SMMA, or Why I Quit SMMA, No BS. And I've switched over into consulting because it's such a better business model in terms of just like longevity, leaving a legacy behind, as well as just helping people. I just genuinely think that my personality really suits consulting, because I like to sit down, work with people together with them and actually give them frameworks, tools, methodologies, teaching them what I know, because I'm literally like a walking encyclopedia at this freaking point. I've been reading books religiously for ages now. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, you guys know I've got like a plethora of books. My book collection is crazy. I literally have been reading a book a week since forever. I don't really do a book a week anymore, guys. I probably do like maybe 2 or 3 books a month. These days I've slowed down just a little bit, just because I've obviously got a lot of stuff on my plate, but I read crazy. That's why a lot of people come to me asking me for help. So my new record, by the way, is scaling my new business from zero. Like literally, this is a brand new business, literally brand new. I literally only just announced this on the 21st of November. It is, by the time 7th of December came around, so that's actually 16 days. So that's 2 weeks and 2 days. I've already been able to scale that to 9.6K, or technically, we'll round it up to 10K, because just to give that round whole number. Well, it's actually 9.6K, guys, if you want to be very technical about it. And I've closed 3 clients, by the way. The very first day I announced this, like I said, on the 21st, by the end of the 22nd, so it's not even a full 24 hours later, by the way, and I've already made a video on this, I closed 2 clients on the very same day. And then I closed another client on the 7th of December. And this is all without doing a single piece of outreach, guys. Now, how do you go about leveraging this? And again, I'll throw, if I haven't already in this video, I'll get my video editor to throw up some screenshots of the actual 1.5. It's actually $1,550 these guys are paying me, and they're paying me over a period of 30 days. And if they're watching this, shout out to you guys. Honestly, we're gonna do some amazing work together, because I know that you guys are watching my channel, which is another testament of what I'm doing, aka I'm practicing what I'm preaching and I'm teaching what I'm preaching. In fact, that is the key. That's what I've actually got written down right here, guys. Now, how can you replicate this, guys? Now, a lot of people are asking me, like, is SMA still a viable business model? Yes, 110% it is. SMA is 110% a viable business model. Do you have to have a personal brand to scale an agency to 10K per month? No, you actually don't. But I just think to myself, like, don't you think it would just be so much easier if you just create a personal brand? It literally would be so much more easier. Think about it. All the programs or online courses you've probably bought, or just things in general from your life, you've bought them from a brand. For example, I just bought a brand new friggin' SUV. Where did I buy it from? I bought it from Porsche, or however you want to pronounce it. And the reason for that is because I've loved the brand since growing up. They make some really awesome cars, and they're one of the market leaders in terms of luxury cars. It's the brand. The brand's got me. Think about anything you buy, guys. Clothes. I don't really wear, branded clothes, to be honest with you. Apple is a brand. I buy a lot of Apple products. This microphone is a Blue Yeti. I brought that because they're literally known in the game as being one of the best mics for quite a relatively decent price. This camera is a Canon. I know that everybody knows that Canon cameras are probably one of the best up there, along with, what is it, Panasonics, and then there's Sony cameras as well. I think Sony's actually taking the lead these days. I probably will be looking into a Sony camera. But point is that, guys, having a brand will help you no matter what business you have. Now, if you guys want to take this to the next level, you guys can start what you call a consulting business. Now, consulting business and coaching business, they're very, very similar, but the way how I see the difference between a consulting business and a coaching business and an agency. So an agency would be like you're doing a done for you service, aka you're running Facebook ads on behalf of another business. Everybody and their uncle tries to start out like that. And here's the funny thing as well. I say to people, you do know you can start a consulting business from scratch as well, right? And then they always go to me, yeah, but Montel, isn't that a scam? Don't I actually have to have a skill in order to teach somebody to actually get my first client? Which is funny, because then I'm like, isn't your agency a scam then? You're saying that that's a scam, but your agency is not a scam. And they go like, what do you mean? Well, if you extrapolate what you just said back to me, which is you need to be doing the thing in order to sell the thing, which I say, fair enough. That actually does give you a lot more validity to you, a lot more substance to you. You look more authentic that way, of course, yeah, 100%. But I'm also then thinking like, well, you just said that to me. Isn't it a scam that you're not running Facebook ads for your own e-commerce business, yet you want to run Facebook ads for other e-commerce businesses? And then everybody goes like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. So I'm like, yo, bro, listen, learn a skill, test and verify that skill, and then sell the skill. I am not even joking, guys. This is literally how I made my first ever $50 right here. I don't know if I can show this because I don't want to show the customer's details, but this is like a $50. I've already made a video on this, by the way, guys. But this is how I made my first ever. One second. That's how I basically made my first ever $50 online. I was just teaching people how to go about finding leads for their business. I'm not even joking. I need to give you guys a very good story here. I was not the greatest at SMA back when I first got started. I don't think anybody is. Here's the thing though. I didn't sell a course. I didn't sell this thing or that thing. I sold something that I knew I was good at, aka I was starting an agency and everybody was struggling to find leads, but I actually had a very good system to find leads. I called it the lead sourcing alchemy, by the way. I don't know why I come up with these crazy names, but honestly, guys, and this is the funny thing, a lot of people watching my channel, they knew I wasn't even doing that well with my agency anyway, because I was very transparent with it. I was telling people when I was fucking up. I never ever lied to people on this particular channel. I told people straight away when I was fucking up, how much money I was making. I literally have videos on this very channel. You can go back right now. And There's videos on my channel like why I lost clients, why I got a bad review on like Upwork, why I've been fucking up and why I'm not where I want to be and why I'm quitting YouTube and, you know, focusing on my business to come back. I've even talked about my anxiety, panic attacks, like where I've been in my life, the things that I'm been struggling with. And the funny thing is, because I was just being so open and transparent, people were just messaging me on like Facebook and Instagram, and they were literally like, Montel, can you help me with my agency? I was literally just there like, you do know I'm not successful, right? Like I'm literally just documenting my journey on YouTube. You do know that, right? And people, honestly, they didn't really care about that. They just really was bought into me and the transparency of me. And the funny thing is, for an entire like year, I'm not even joking, I made this video on my channel again. Just check my channel, is what I'm trying to say. That first £50 I ever made was a 1-hour coaching call with a guy called William Boston. If you're ever watching this, shout out to you, my bro. And I basically just taught him the lead sourcing stuff. So I rejected everybody, by the way, for an entire year. I said, no, I'm not successful enough, which is actually kind of crazy, because now that I think about it, I probably stunted my own growth back then, all because I had a limiting belief and imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is where in the back of your head you don't feel successful enough to be teaching something or doing a service for somebody. And I think everybody goes through that, but it's almost like a catch-22. In order to become good at a thing, you need to do the thing. But in order to do the thing, you need to close a client so you can do that said thing in order to become good at that said thing so you can then sell that said thing. It sounds so friggin' confusing, but it's a catch-22. It's almost like, how do you know you're gonna be good at running Facebook ads if you don't run Facebook ads for a client? Do you start your own stores? You could do, or do you just go out there and try to land a client and actually do your best to try and get them results? And if you don't, just give them a refund back and call it a day and then keep trying again until you actually get good. But the problem is that the very first client you're gonna close, you're always going to feel kind of like icky at the back of your head, feel like you're kind of like scamming people, or you've got this, it's not even a scam, it's just because you're just so scared of not being able to deliver results that you just feel like you're gonna mess it up and you're gonna fumble the bag, if you will. So I completely understand that, but honestly guys, to start a consulting business, you only need to take a sliver of a certain business model and become really good at that. In fact, I'm actually gonna give you a very in-depth secret right here, guys, that you can actually do. You right now can go and enroll into somebody's online program. By the way, when you start a consulting business is just a done with you service. It's not a done for you, it's a done with you. AKA you're gonna be working with people to help them maybe scale their business or lose weight or overcome some sort of addiction, or you're gonna help them with life advice or mentality, their mental health. This is what I love about consulting. You can start a consulting business pretty much around everything. I have literally heard people making over 500K a month just teaching people how to overcome video game addiction. Like, people are addicted to video games. You can start a consulting business on helping people overcome their video game addiction, and they will actually pay you for that. And by the way, the service delivery on that would be like, because everyone thinks that your service delivery needs to be Facebook ads. I don't know what it is, but this SMMA acronym is really starting to mess with people's brains. You're thinking too one-dimensionally. Start thinking more two-dimensionally, three-dimensionally, AKA you can actually create like an online framework, kind of like, you know, like Alcohol Anonymous. Like, they've got like a 12-step program, I believe it is, where they go through these series of steps to help you overcome alcohol addiction, Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever it's called. And they have like a program that you go through, and by the end of it, they have a very high success rate of taking people from, you know, being very addicted to alcohol, which is obviously terrible, to them being free of this crippling addiction, which is absolutely life-changing, guys. You see, they're not running Facebook ads for these people. They're just taking somebody from point A to point B. AKA they're an alcoholic right now. They don't want to be an alcoholic. They see that it's ruining their lives, it's ruined their relationships, it's ruining their health, ruining their productivity. Their life's in turmoil right now, and they don't want that anymore. They want a life free from alcohol. And all Alcohol Anonymous has done is identify 12 steps that these people need to go through in order to rid themselves of this addiction. So what they've done is they've created this 12-step program, and people go through this program. By the end of it, they have a very, very, very high success rate of people not being alcoholics anymore. All that is, by the way, guys, is a consulting business. If you guys cannot see this by now, I don't know what you're actually looking at. This is an entrepreneur that's probably gone through alcohol addiction himself, figured out how to cure himself of this alcohol addiction, and then he's looked back and started helping other people come up with solutions as to how they can overcome their alcohol addiction. And that's what I mean by learn, test, sell. Learn a skill, test it so that it genuinely works over and over and over again, and you can verify that it actually genuinely works. And then you can sell that skill to other people. I'm telling you, this is probably one of the best business models you can ever get into. Look at anybody you look up to right now. I bet you any money they've got some sort of program that works very similar to this, where they've got either a consulting program, a mastermind, a coaching program, or some sort of online course. Because normally it goes like this. The person starts off with a done for you, or they figure out some sort of problem that they have themselves and they end up figuring it out and how to fix that themselves. I'll give you an example of me. I was very broke. I have always been broke my entire life, quite literally. I've grown up in like council houses. Even though my parents looked after us and my dad was kind of like well off and whatnot, my stepmom's actually, now I think she's like making like multiple six figures now at business. I don't talk too much about that. But I never was given any money as a kid. I think I had like a £50 allowance per month. I am not even joking. Then I had to do chores. So I feel very grateful for my parents because they installed into me hard work. Like, you have to work for money, in terms of just like, you have to hustle. You have to give something in order to receive money. I feel like they did a very good job in that. And then when I dropped out of university, I was completely broke. Tried to start all these businesses, like clothing line, tried to start drop shipping. Drop shipping technically was semi-successful, not successful, but I at least started making some money. Then I started an agency, and it took me frigging ages, literally 17 months to land me my first ever, well, technically it was 16 months. Yeah, 16, I know I keep saying 17 months, but technically it was 16 months. I worked it out the other day. 16 months to land me my first client for $1,000. So I went 16 months making zero money, by the way. I had no job. I was completely broke, living off of other people. It was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, guys. You can actually look back on my channel and you can see that, like, probably look malnourished. It was horrible. And then I came across a real estate agent. Like, I actually built a personal brand in the real estate space, but basically just talking about like how to run Facebook ads for real estate agents. And again, I wasn't an expert at this. I'd never ran a single ad for a real estate agent before in my life, but I positioned myself as an expert because I really was just digging deep into the knowledge that most real estate agents just don't have the time to pick up. I was learning this science, this art of how to run Facebook ads for real estate businesses. And I basically just started creating content around that on LinkedIn, started connecting with a whole bunch of business owners. They came to, like, real estate agent came to me and I closed them, like, when I first dropped my actual first ever case study, which was crazy. So I landed my first ever client like that, and then I kind of switched over to using Upwork. But what I didn't realize is that I'm actually picking up skills here. This is the thing. I was documenting my journey on YouTube. That's already a skill, because that's actually, being able to document your journey, put your name out there, put your face out there like I'm doing right now, creating content that's valuable to people. Well, hopefully it's valuable to you guys, and hopefully I'm sparking some ideas, because you don't really need to be an expert. Then the second thing I was doing was I was building a personal brand, not only on LinkedIn, but I was actually nurturing leads by creating more content. And I was also learning like the skill of Facebook ads, even though I never really would call myself an expert at Facebook ads. Even to this day, I still don't think I'm an expert at Facebook ads. That's a skill that honestly takes a lifetime to master, to be honest with you guys. And then what I was doing is I was learning how to build like funnels, come up with offers. And I was just learning a skill by myself. And then I eventually realized that I actually was able to scale my agency up using Upwork. That's another skill that I was learning. I used Upwork outreach to actually do that. Then I started closing like e-commerce brands. Closed a couple of e-commerce brands. Like the first week I actually started launching I think I closed 2 clients in like 3 or 4 days. The very first week I launched the hybrid system. Like I fully turned on the hybrid system. Again, hybrid system was just using Upwork to stack up some cash flow. Got that cash flow and just literally started hiring and teaching and training these VAs. But all this is skills that I'm accumulating myself. Now I can actually go and test these skills myself and then sell these skills back to people. And that's basically what I did. That's all I've basically done. Now this is applicable in any sort of consulting business, AKA, let's say you've got a video game addiction right now. What you can do is you can actually, document your journey of how you're actually addicted to video games, what it's doing to your life, how you want to get out of it, what you plan to do in order to get out of it. And you can start documenting that, joining communities as well to be around other people that have like video game addiction. I guarantee if you go onto like Reddit or Twitter or just Facebook groups, I bet you any money you'll find some sort of online community dedicated to like gamers. And then in those gaming communities, there will be video game addicts. And then what you want to do is start dropping content on like why your video game addiction is ruining your life, all that sort of stuff. And eventually you start building up your own personal brand. And eventually, because you now are going to start solving your own problem, AKA you was a video game addict before and now you're not, you can now take that and sell that to other people who are video game addicts. There are people right now that are literally ruining their lives, ruining their brain, ruining their chances of success, ruining their opportunities, ruining their relationships, all because they're so friggin' addicted to video games. I know it sounds far-fetched, guys, but I'm telling you right now, if you literally just Google like how bad is video game addictions and what are video games doing to people's brains, there's been loads of debates online on like how bad video games are for your actual brain, for your productivity, how it kills your chances in life, how it's stopping people from achieving certain things. And if you can figure stuff like that out, a lot of people will actually actually pay you to learn how to overcome this video game addiction. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna learn a skill, aka you're actually gonna take yourself out of your own problem. That's a skill that you've now learned, and then you can actually document that skill and actually put together like a framework, maybe like 5 steps, 6 steps, 12 steps, like Alcohol Anonymous, and you can actually put that together as like an online program, and you can use yourself as your own case study. How you used to be, completely broke because of your video game addiction, and now you're making money because you're able to, your brain's able to focus more on set tasks and what that has done for your life and how that's changed you. And now you're studying that transformation to other people. That's all business is. This is how the economy works. The economy works from people waking up every day trying to buy a better version of themselves little by little. Why do you think people buy expensive cars like a Porsche? Why do you think people buy expensive Rolex watches for like 20, 30 grand or whatever it is? Like Patek Philippe's and stuff like that for like 100 grand, 200 grand or whatever they cost, like 80 grand or whatever it is. Why do you think people do that? It's because it's the image they think that watch is going to, give them. It's a prestige thing. It makes you feel like you're a better person than you actually are, and it impresses other people. It's for other people to see. So people are trying to wake up every single day, go into jobs that they don't like, all because they actually want to buy things to make themselves feel better than what they were yesterday. That's all the economy lives on, guys. Honestly, it's kind of crazy. So the way how you can copy this is obviously just learn a skill. By the way, if you're asking me what skills to learn, there are so many freaking skills out there. And one of the quickest ways, by the way, one of the quickest like cheat codes you can do this is literally just start going around thinking of different skills, going onto YouTube and seeing if somebody's got an online course around it. If someone's got an online course around it, just buy the course. Buy the course and then turn their course into a done with you service. And then offer that back to people. Because people that have built courses out have probably built that course out because they've become too bogged down by working with one-to-one clients. So they've had to move their knowledge from one-to-one into an online program. For example, Age Reputation now has like 600 something members in there. There is no way in hell I could work with all 600 of those students inside of Age Reputation. The only reason why I created Age Reputation was because I was helping people. I scaled my agency. People then came to me to help them scale an agency, which was cool. And then I started helping people scale an agency, and I actually was getting genuinely good results. That was me verifying that I genuinely know what I'm talking about now. Not only did I scale my agency to 6 figures and stuff like that, I was helping other people do it as well. And then I said to myself, you know what? This is getting too much. There's too many people DMing me. I'm gonna have to move my knowledge from just me coaching it one-to-one to putting it into an actual program to then putting it into an online program, like an online course, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you can call it course if you want to. And you can generate sales that way. However, because you right now probably don't have that customer base, what you can do is you can take their course back a step, aka you can take somebody's course right now, learn what's inside the course, and now you've actually got a consulting business idea, aka you can take what they've done, build upon it, change it up, make it your own, and then sell that back as a done for you service, aka you can go right now to Google, type in like how to overcome video game addiction. You'll probably go onto YouTube, you'll probably see some there's always going to be a leader in like, there's going to be like a thought leader or like an online guru. I won't call them a gurus, I feel that's a little bit disrespectful, but there's going to be somebody who's mastered the game and they've got some sort of online course that helps people with this. Go and enroll into that course and see what they're doing to help people, and then you'll start to identify the certain steps that you need in order to create your online consulting business. And then what you can do is actually just leverage that and create your consulting business around it. Like literally take their online course back a step by creating it into a done with you service, not done for you. And then what you want to do is you can go and then sell that to people. Funny thing is, you can probably use their group as well. Don't get caught doing this, but you can probably use someone else's, like people's groups, these gurus groups, to go and sell your done with you services to the actual group. Don't get caught doing that, please. Or you can even just go and join free Facebook groups. Then what you can do is start creating a brand around what you know now. So you've got knowledge now. Because you've taken an online course on this, you now have knowledge. You can start making videos on this. Not only on this, but also document your journey and talk about your own personal experiences going through your video game addiction. Then what you can do is you can create a funnel. A funnel is just like a video sales letter on why video game addictions is crazy for you, what it does to your brain, just a whole who you are, what you've been doing, why you want to change your life and why you actually did change your life and the results you've been able to get and how your life's changed, as well as break down people's limiting beliefs. That's like a video that's like 10 to 15 minutes long, and that's on like a funnel. Just imagine like a website right here, and you've just got like a video and an opt-in page. They watch that free training, and then that actually has a close at the end. That's what you call a video sales letter. Then once you do that, you actually get people on a call and you close them. and your service delivery is your online program. Maybe it's a 12-step program, or maybe it's a 4-month program. It doesn't matter how you get people results as long as you take them from point A to point B. That is all consulting is, guys. Anyway, guys, I hope that you've actually enjoyed this video. This has been a very in-depth one. You may have to watch this back over and over and over again, because honestly, you do not need to be an expert. You right now, whoever's watching this, you probably have a skill that you low-key know you have, but you're thinking in the back of your head, this probably won't work. And I always hate when people say this. Like, it's weird how people always have ideas for other people, but then when it comes to creating their own ideas for their own business, for their own self, they just run out of ideas. Not only that, but they also play the victim card, where it's like, oh yeah, I do have a skill, but my skill's completely different. It will never work. How can I ever get this to work? They always plead like they're a special case. Nobody's a special case, guys. There's so many businesses out there. I bet you any money, the skill that you're thinking in your head right now that you could probably sell as a consulting business, I bet you any money out right now, there's somebody out there selling that exact same skill and making loads of money from it. And if not, you can probably go and break into that market, guys. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed this. If you want help with any of this, starting your own consulting business, starting your own personal brand, or even starting your own agency, guys, click the link below, book in a call with me one-to-one, and we'll get you basically just set up, started, create your offers, create your outreach team, create your funnels for you. We also create your content or your content ideas, everything you need in order to start a successful consulting business and scale it up to 10K per month. And I've been able to do that now in 16 days. What a record it's been. You guys can actually copy this. If you want help with this and want to implement this faster, click the link below, because I do have some extremely crazy growth strategies right now implementing this for 2023, 2024, 2025 going onwards, guys. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and click the link below if you want to speak to me directly. Peace.